We called it the Traveler, and its arrival changed us forever. Great cities were built on Mars and Venus. Mercury became a garden world. Human lifespan tripled. It was a time of miracles. We stared out at the galaxy and knew that it was our destiny to walk in the light of other stars. But the Traveler had an enemy, a darkness which had hunted it for eons across the black gulfs of space. Centuries after our golden age began, this darkness found us. And that was the end of everything. But it was also a beginning.
Ouch. Is it possible? There you are. Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian. It worked. You're alive. You don't know how long I've been looking for you. I'm a ghost. Actually, now I'm your ghost. And you? Well, you've been dead a long time. So you're going to see a lot of things you won't understand. This is fallen territory. We aren't safe here. I have to get you to the city. Hold still. Don't worry, I'm still with you. We need to move, fast.
So let's get a move on then.
We won't survive long out in the open like this. Let's get inside the wall.
What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you to Let's Play Destiny. The official Let's Play this time. Because Destiny 2 is on the horizon. And, well, Destiny has basically come to a close. I think it is about time we take a look back at this game. It's the story in its entirety. And just kind of put it all together in one nice and neatly wrapped present.
Quiet. They're right above us.
Because, honestly, to me, that's truly what this game is. A present, a gift, a wonderful thing
Fallen thrive in the dark.
that I want to show to all of you in its totality. So,
Another one of these hardened military systems. And a few centuries of entropy working against me. They're coming for us.
okay, we better move then.
Here, I found a rifle.
Oh,
Grab
got it. And here we go. Alright, our very first weapon of the entirety of Destiny, the Kvostov. Legendary for being, well, the first weapon. And it gets a little better than that. We'll talk about it more at a later point. These, ladies and gentlemen, are Fallen. They are, I would not say the main enemies of Destiny, but they are, well, one of the 4 main ones, and probably the most recognizable and most unique of all the enemies in Destiny. Although that's not to say they aren't all unique in their own way. The Fallen are just have a very interesting story to them, and we'll be getting into that as we go throughout this Let's Play, because if there's one thing that Destiny suffers from, it is, well, its story. At least
Keep it up.
the first chunk of its story, the first major chunk. The chunk that, well, unfortunately, a lot of people were given when this game released.
Let's see what's inside.
Destiny has a very bizarre history. Very well known for its poor launch that a lot of people did not care for because, well, let's be honest, the game just did not have a frickin' story when it launched at all. And, you know, being their last game, I believe, was, well, actually, no, it was not Halo 3, but that was, I think, their last major game that Bungie made going into Destiny. What was it? Was it Reach or ODST? I cannot remember which is the last one that Bungie made. It was one of them. I think it might have been ODST, but yes. Sorry, I'm just focused on the gunplay because that is one thing that has been consistently good ever since the launch of Destiny. But very well known for a poor story when, well, Bungie was known for crafting an amazing universe with the Halo universe, and Bungie kind of underwhelmed everybody here because people were expecting so much more out of Destiny. It had been in development hell for a long time. It was supposed to be a big masterpiece, and it actually turned into, well, really the kind of the first looter shooter that was actually online. It was basically Borderlands, but, you know, an online experience in the form of a loose MMO. I wouldn't call it a strict MMO because there are too many elements of MMOs that this game lacks, but then there are also so many that it does have that it's impossible not to associate it with the genre in some way.
There's got to be something you can fly out of here.
But unfortunately, like I said, the story is very barren. Although that's not entirely true. The story is not barren. It's there. It's just not visible to the naked eye, which is... I'm not, you know, in any way defending the story by saying that. I still think that it is a major problem with the game. And yes, one that was remedied a little bit as the game grew older and it, you know, the Bungie team grew more experienced with this Destiny universe, and they kind of, you know, figured out their vision for the game and what they wanted it to be over time. They definitely fleshed that out a little bit better, and going into Destiny 2, things seem to be on the right track. But what about Destiny 1, okay? Because this is the beginning of the story. Destiny 2 is a continuation. They are not completely starting over. So what is the story? What do we know about the Guardians? What do we know about the Fallen? All of the other enemies in this universe. This future that Bungie has created, does any of it matter going into Destiny 2? Well, yes. Yes, it does. And again, like I said, I'm going to be going into everything as we go through this campaign, because in its totality, it's actually a pretty darn long one. So, I have picked for this Let's Play Warlock, and I'm going to be playing mostly Voidwalker, although I will try to switch it up to Sunsinger as we go throughout, and of course there is always that third subclass that we will get into much later on in the playthrough, but for right now we are going with Voidwalker. So, Destiny, as I said, is a looter shooter. It is also chock full of RPG elements. I would not say RPG fans are going to be taken with this right away unless you absolutely also like action and shooter gameplay. Because that's what Destiny is. It's not just a shooter. It's not just an RPG. It's not just an MMO. I would say out of all of those things, out of all of its possible genres, it is actually the best at being an action game through and through. It is a very good shooter. It's like calling Uncharted a third-person shooter, which you wouldn't really. You would more so call it an action game, right? Well, this is an action game that just happens to do the first-person shooter elements incredibly well, despite the limitations of its 30 frames per second, which, you know, even when this game came out was kind of an archaic thing that you really didn't want to have in your game. But I think if you can look past 30 frames per second, which I personally can, and also enemies teleporting through walls,
all right.
There is actually a very compelling and a very well done experience to be found here.
It's been here a while. Hasn't made a jump in centuries. We're lucky the Fallen haven't completely picked it clean.
Will it fly?
I can make it work. Okay, it's not going to break orbit, but it just might get us to the city. Now, above that transmitter. Bringing you in. We can come back for them when you're ready. Let's get you home.
And that is it. This is what the end screen of every single mission looks like. You get to see your upgrades after completing the mission because you will be given experience. You get to see your totals, your kills, precision kills, how many times you died, and whatever rewards the game decided to give you at the end of the mission. As you can see, I am level 2. And this number right here is my light level, which is actually separate from level. And this is actually something that continues in Destiny 2 as well. And I will explain more of that in the next episode. I'm going to be splitting up every single one of these missions into their own separate episodes, just for the sake of structure and completeness in this Let's Play. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so very much for watching this first episode of Let's Play Destiny. Hope you all enjoyed it very, very much, and I will see you all in the next one.